the fact that we're able to do a show with 4 women and be somewhat well received, I think really speaks to the fact that our fan base really supports diversity and supports women in football.
They gotta play action!
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Tigress Talk Season 4. We are starting Season 4. I can't believe it. So thank you all for being here. If you are new to our channel, if you found us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Tigress Talk Pod. So thanks, everybody. My name is Jess, aka Hube, and I'm joined by my besties, Kayla, holding it down in Northern Kentucky, and Bridget down there in Cincinnati. And we appreciate you ladies. I appreciate everyone joining. I think Jerry might be joining later. We shall see. But yeah, so woo, we had the draft. That was exciting. What did you guys think just overall about the draft? Were you happy?
Yeah, excited? I mean, I am really excited. I was so excited after Amarius Mims was drafted that it was like the rest is kind of it's kind of, in a haze. Like, I was just so excited after him, and everything I'm clicking on and watching, it's thrilling. I get excited every year for every single one of these guys and the undrafted guys that come in. So
yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time. I really feel like the draft is always a chance to build what's going to be the team for that year. And it's always really exciting to think about the guys who could start this year versus the guys that can learn under some of our guys and start next year, or be, those depth positions that we may need later on into the season. So yeah, I always love draft day. Is always a fun day for me.
It's the most fun. And it's such a fun, it feels like such a celebratory start to the season. Free agency sometimes feels celebratory, but then we're losing guys we love. And so free agency feels a little turbulent sometimes, or like a roller coaster. And I like this draft. I think we filled some key positions we needed. Just like you said, there's some depth there, but there's also some gaps we needed. So I like it.
Yeah, I think overall I was really happy, and it sounds like, a lot of the experts were really happy too. I know some fans were kind of mixed, kind of all over the board about how things went, but some of the Sporting News gave the Bengals an A, Pro Football Focus gave Bengals a B+, USA Today B, Mel Kiper Jr. B. That sounds like solid passing grades as far as at least in my college career. Those are solid passing grades for me. So
I think you can graduate high school with much less now.
Oh, really? Yeah, Caleb probably knows all about that, huh, Caleb?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Mims, I was really excited about him. I think every year people say, why would you not go O-line? Why would you not go O-line?
Yeah.
Why would you not go O-line? And now we picked an offensive tackle with our very first pick. So I think I would have thought a lot more people would have been happier about that. But I think a lot of people were. I think there was just a lot of people who were a little confused. But honestly, I feel like when I saw the picture of him, I was like, oh, that's the guy that is gigantic that everyone was talking about at the combine, being so much taller than all the reporters. So, I mean, I thought that was really like a full circle moment when they got him. But
and now he's part of the skyline.
I know. I just love that. So cute. Cutest nickname possible.
I really want, yeah. Well, speaking of Skyline, yes, I like that nickname for our offensive line, but also him holding the cheese coney and it looked like a tiny cheese coney. But also, I want a tiny cheese coney, so I need Skyline to make that happen for me. Let me live out my dreams. Sorry, what'd you say? Check out chat. Oh. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Oh, we got a lot of people in the chat. Sorry, guys. Stranger 4420 says, "Who day? What's up, Stranger?" Heroic Teddy says, "Who day? Who day?" Heroic Teddy. Greg Luther says, "Who day, ladies? Ready for Luther Vision." I can't speak today. I'm going on very little sleep, but okay, Greg, let's do.
How to show my new sequin shirt.
Ready? Oh yeah, Bridget is super festive today with her sequins. So I love that. All right, Greg, we appreciate you. Hopefully you got something good for Luther Vision. Rogue Teddy said, "Here we go." Yes, what's up? Matt says, "Who day, ladies? Welcome back." Thank you so much, Matt. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Oh, Rebecca's here. What's up, Rebecca? Rebecca was one of our big winners on Friday. So congratulations to Rebecca. And Greg says, "I give the draft a solid B+. They got at least 4 or 5 contributors immediately." So yeah. And Greg says, "Shout out to everyone that showed up for Project Game Day event Friday at Midwest Best Barbecue." Yes, that was really fun and really great, really well done. So kudos to Greg and Matt and all the guys that made that happen with Rally Around the Natty and Bengals and Brews. All those guys did a fantastic job. Bengals captain says, "Who day? Who day?" Who day, Bengals captain? Oh, what's up, Dalton? He says, "Chiming in real quick. I think we did well this draft. Who day from Juneau, Alaska." What's up, Dalton? Who day? Kelsey's here. What's up, Kelsey? Kelsey was there hanging with us on Friday. She says, "Who day, friends?" Who day, Kels? Thanks for being here. Heroic Teddy's giving us a B+, so that's good. Matt says our O-line is filled with some giants to protect Joe Shiesty. Yes. And it's funny because my stepdad is very, very casual NFL fan. And every year he's like, how are they going to protect Joe Burrow? How are they going to, he's just, repeating the things that he's heard people say. And so, yeah, there we go. Heroic Teddy says, "I want to see Mims play so much. Then again, I'm excited to see all our new prospects play." Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, thank you so much to everybody who's here and commenting. Let us know if you guys have any comments about these draft guys as we kind of go through them all here. So one thing me and Kelsey were talking about on Friday, Kelsey and Alex, we were saying we got a lot of big boys in our draft. So we were excited about that. So round 2 was the defensive tackle, Chris Jenkins. Round 3, wide receiver, Jermaine Burton. That was interesting, I think, to say the least. A lot of people, I don't think, saw that coming. But round 3, another defensive tackle, McKinley Jackson. That was awesome. I'm really hoping that, some of these guys can kind of help step in and help stop the run this year. So I'm excited to see these guys get to work. Round 4 was the tight end, Eric All. That's our Fairfield boy. So super happy to see him. Round 5, Josh Newton, cornerback. Not the Newton I think a lot of people but he's the Newton that we deserve. So I love that for him. But oh my God, I cannot talk. Tight end Tanner. I don't know how to say this name. Do you guys know how to say that name?
McLaughlin?
I thought that's what it was too.
That would be my guess.
Okay. Anyway, I think it's funny that we have 2 tight ends named Tanner, and I would really like somebody to name their fantasy football team A Tale of Two Tanners, because I had A Tale of Two Tylers one time was my fantasy football name. But round 6 was defensive end Cedric Johnson. Round 7, Dejan. Am I saying that one right? Dejan Anthony, who apparently loves Zach Taylor, and that's like the most relatable thing ever. When he said, "I love you" on the phone to Zach Taylor.
That was so cute. And then Zach was like, "Love you too, bro."
Zach gives off like the best dad energy. Yeah. Like that supportive, like he's going to coach your little league team. Yes. And like, give you a talking to, but then hug you and make you feel supported. He's the best.
100%.
I just like, have you guys ever been like when you were in middle school, or not even middle school, but like elementary school? Did you ever accidentally call your teacher mom, or accidentally tell your teacher that you loved her?
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was like, that's just the vibe that I got. But honestly, maybe he just genuinely loves Zach Taylor, and that's like the most relatable thing ever. So, and then round 7 was the center, Matt Lee from Miami. So that's exciting. We got some big guys, and I think that kind of some of the biggest takeaways were obviously Burton was a surprise for a lot of people because his character concerns, which I really hate that term, because like I want the tea. I want to know what he did. I want the story. Like, don't tell me he has character concerns. I want to know what he did. And
Yeah.
it was like really hard to find, but apparently he switched schools and a few times, and I guess there was an incident where fans were like rushing the field and his arm came in contact with a fan of some kind, and my intern is currently doing that's good right there. Maybe go up a little more. We're currently fixing some bugs. So anyway, did I mention I just got home from work? So thanks everybody for hanging in there with us. Anyway, Burton apparently is a little spicy, and maybe the Bengals are gonna start picking some spicy players. Maybe they're like, hey, you know what? We got enough good guys. Let's throw some other guys in there. I don't know.
Jess and I love FC Cincinnati, and we both love Matt Miazga, who is like full of like spice and fire.
Yeah.
And I asked him about that. I got a chance to meet him last week, and I think like you do need that. The thing with the draft picks to always remember too, these kids are 19, 20, 21 sometimes when
they're
these
so young.
Like if I was judged today by the things I said, like I would just be canceled, or you would all hate me, or like I think I was I wasn't like saying horrible things and punching people, but I sucked. Like I sucked at the age of 20, and no one would have liked me. So I also think there's like some of that. Like I've heard like he's not very receptive to coaching. And I'm like, aren't we all a little oppositionally defiant when they're that age? So like, I don't know. I take it. I feel like you got to take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I'm just not ready to write anybody off based on, a few incidents that happened when they were young. I mean, look at how great Joe Mixon was for us after there was a lot of concerns. And, it's real easy in this day and age with social media and everybody's got a camera and everything's, public information. It's real easy to, these events are kind of put on blast and they're kind of amplified. Whereas, it was very much an isolated thing. It was very like special circumstances. And, I certainly don't want to make any excuses for anybody or say that, that behavior is okay. But at the same time, it's like, sometimes things happen. Sometimes people run at you and sometimes people slap you in the face and you are in this fight or flight triggered instinct. And, I would never write somebody off because of how they acted in one moment. So that's my little soapbox spiel about that.
You can both do something wrong and still be a good person. Like it's not like
nobody's perfect,
good or bad, right or wrong. Like we see so much in polarities, and it's like, no, what Joe Mixon did was fundamentally wrong in that moment, and he is still like a decent person. He was able, I feel like Zach Taylor really helped Joe Mixon too when Zach came, and I think like we got to see Joe Mixon like grow up and mature, and that was a pretty special thing to see here.
Yeah. Rebecca says trenches was a smart move for us. I agree, Rebecca. And, and I got to shout out my bestie, Kyle Caskey too. He really gave Mixon a chance when some people wouldn't. He probably would have gone a lot higher in the draft, had he not had that incident. So, I really give Kyle Caskey a lot of credit for seeing the best in him and bringing out the best in him. So Pork Chops here. He says, "Who day, ladies? Who day, Pork Chop? Thanks for hanging with us." Rebecca says, "Burton could be a good value pick if he can keep his emotions in check." Yep, exactly. 100%, Rebecca. Yep, agreeing with us on the Joe Mix and stuff. Pam, Mama Pam's here. Hooday, girlies. I've missed seeing you. We miss you, Mama Pam. And a special birthday shout out to Mama Pam and Bengals Whitney, who are celebrating their birthdays this week. Whitney's birthday is on the 1st. And I think Pam's birthday is on it's either the same day or like the day before or something crazy. So
we heard you had a lot of fun, Mama Pam.
Yes. I heard you were having a good time this weekend. If Jerry were here, she might be able to tell some stories. But Pork Chop says Burton was leaving a game after a loss and his emotions, passion got the best of him, and he pushed a running fan out of the way as she was running at him. Yeah. I don't know what I would do if somebody was running at me. I don't know. Greg says, I will say this about Burton. I trust Zach Taylor with the players he brings in. And he was so excited when they got Zach Burton. Yes. I mean, literally pounding the table. Pounding the table is not a metaphor. Zach Taylor literally slammed his hands down on the table and was so excited about Burton. So hey, I'll take it. Tennessee was still talking about that win over Bama the following year. I went to the Tennessee spring game and they were still talking about beating Bama. All right. Pam says, yep. Yay, Mama Pam. Happiest birthday to you ladies. So, I don't know. Burton, we'll have to see how it shakes out. It's impossible to tell, I think, at this point. But, hey, we could do a little spicy every now and then, spice it up. Spice it up a little bit. All's injury history, I guess, was maybe a little concerning for some people. And then lack of interior offensive line help overall, but stealing Matt Lee at the end was huge. I think a lot of people were really high on Matt Lee, and the fact that he lasted till the end, I think, was a good value pick as well. So, overall, lots of athleticism, lots of high upside contributors, but a few have all pro potential. We address some of the needs that we have now, like wide receiver, defensive line, and some of the future O-line depth and stuff like that. So
I looked, Lee in 2022 was like the PFF, I think, rated him the 3rd best center in college football or something like that. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So, all right. Anything else about the draft?
Talk about who else we drafted.
Talk about them how. I listed them all.
I will say, like, I know Mims some people were like, he hasn't seen as much game action, and I get that, and you want to see that, but he has like 300, I wrote down my little notes, 376 career pass blocks, only 6 pressures allowed, 0 sacks allowed. Like, when I think about O-line, all I want to think about is how Joe Burrow doesn't get sacked. Like, I don't need 9 sack postseason games. And so for me, like, we can get him game ready. I think preseason will be a huge part of that. But, like, these are numbers I'm pretty happy to see. And I think if we can, like, protect the crown jewel of the Queen City, will be in really good postseason shape.
Plus, he gets to learn behind Trent and Orlando, and they're like the same height, like obviously somewhat different body weight, but not too much different, right? I don't think it's that big of a difference.
I think it's pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
so it's
on,
like
honestly.
He gets to learn from someone who is skilled in the position already and is gonna be similar style to what he has. So I think that's fabulous. In best case scenario for someone who's maybe a little green.
Oh yeah, definitely. Santino's here. What's up? Santino says, "Who did ladies?" Make sure you guys check out Santino's new music. Stranger 4 for 20 says, "I've never been more excited about an undrafted free agent than I am about our new punter, 87 yards." Yeah, did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It was crazy. Yeah, he literally punted it 87 yards. So.
Where's he from? Where'd he go to school?
Was it Texas Tech?
Let me see if I find it. Let me find it.
That's what I think, but I'm probably wrong. I don't know very much about college football.
I'm really bad. I'm honestly really bad at all of this.
Kayla, the fact that you could like name a pretend, I'm like, school? He went to college school?
He went to school somewhere, per source.
I thought I remembered it being red, and then I was like, Texas Tech, and as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, I don't think that's right. So.
I don't remember. Let us know in the chat if you guys know. Heroic Teddy says, I hope McKinley Jackson thrives. He seems to be considered the weak pick, but I love that he came immediately, asked for the playbook, and wanted to get to work right away. Yes, I love that. That's an amazing quality in a guy that's young and ready to learn. Rebecca says, it's wild that Ted is now the smallest guy on the O-line. I know. It's crazy. Cav says, don't count out the Tiger Speedo and Brad Robbins this year. Yeah. I think Brad Robbins is going to really thrive with a little competition. I think that's going to be really good for him. So, Christine says, this being on just made my day so much better. What's up, Christine? We're glad you're here. But for Karis is new nickname to be Tiny. we could call him Tiny Ted.
Yeah. We need a Cincy hat with Tiny embroidered on the side.
I'm gonna get Matt, or I'm gonna get Cincy hat Matt and Matt Schultz to make a Cincy hat that says Tiny Ted on it.
He's just a little guy.
Sorry, Ted.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh yeah. Well, other exciting news this weekend. Corey Dillon was in town hanging with us at the draft party on Friday at Midwest Best Barbecue. And yeah, we need to get Corey Dillon in the Ring of Honor this year. And I'm going to start pounding the table early and often. I'm going to be like Zach Taylor. I'm literally going to be pounding the table for Corey Dillon. Oh, and he signed Cap's jersey. So not only did he sign Cap's jersey, he also ate wings in Cap's jersey. So Cap got this jersey. And you would not believe how hard these are to find. I think he got this from Canada on eBay, and I can't see anything because this is totally obstructing my face. But hopefully you guys can see that. So Cap brings this jersey to see Corey on Friday night, and Corey immediately just starts putting it on his body. So he's literally sitting at a table at Midwest Best, getting dressed, and I'm sitting outside, and I'm watching him through the window, and I'm like, he just put on Cap's jersey. And then he literally was eating wings in it. and now we're saying that it's game used because I feel like he ate wings in it. So
that's the game. That's mad game.
God bless us, everyone.
Oh my God. Like when we make it to we've got to have that. There's got to be a Tiny Ted. God bless us, everyone. Like this fodder is just
on the back. You'd be like, Tiny Ted. God bless us, everyone.
This is so good.
Yeah, Rebecca. Corey was really proud of himself for not getting food on the jersey. Honestly, I was really proud of Ted for not getting food on that jersey. I was not wearing anything of any consequence, and I still probably got food on myself somehow, just because that's who I am as a person. So yeah, really cool to see Corey. It was really cool that Corey lives in California with his girlfriend Arlette, who's an amazing lady who I love dearly, and they came out to Cincinnati from California to eat wings at Midwest Best Barbecue with all of us and celebrate the night 2 of the draft. So I'm really impressed by Corey Dillon's passion for the fans and for connecting with the fans. He's just been a really, really cool person to get to know over this past, year or so. But yeah, Chop says, I told Corey not to worry about the barbecue sauce because it wasn't his jersey. Thanks a lot, Chop. Hey, spillage or no spillage, it is now game worn. God, I cannot speak today. I'm so sorry, y'all. It is now a game worn jersey. So, but anyway, I think that's all I have really on the draft. But we have not really taught. This is our first show since the end of last year, so we have not addressed free agency either. So, some good news, some bad news, some, different stuff. So basically we got Logan Woodside, Trent Brown, Sheldon Rankins, Von Bell is back. So we were excited about that. Zach Moss, Geno Stone is exciting.
Stealing from a rival. We love that.
Yeah. Mike Gesicki, who, if you saw the news, I think I know I tweeted about it, and I think it was Jeff Hobson that wrote about it. But apparently Ted Karras saved Mike Gesicki's life while they were eating steak at his house, because apparently Mike Gesicki cannot cut his food, and he cut too big of a piece of steak and he started choking on it. And Ted Karras immediately sees the look in his eyes. And if you've ever seen somebody choking, there is a look in somebody's eyes when they are choking that is unmistakable. So Ted literally saw the look in his eyes, jumped up, started giving him the Heimlich maneuver, and which was invented in Cincinnati, by the way. Fun fact, bet you didn't know that. Ted starts giving him the Heimlich maneuver and saves Mike Gesicki's life while eating steak.
We couldn't make this man Walter Payton Man of the Year. Come on.
What can't he do? Whatever. I mean, he's saving people.
It's the most Ted story of all, right? Like, of course he saved someone with the Heimlich maneuver. Like, why wouldn't he? It didn't break any of their ribs, even though he's a gazillion pounds. Just like did it.
No, he's tiny Ted.
Did it with his tiny Ted hands.
Tiny Ted didn't break anyone's ribs. He's gonna kill us for this. All right, guys that we've re-signed: Jake Browning, Cal Adon. Oh my God, I cannot talk. Joe Bashi, Trent Irwin, Tanner Hudson, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Drew Sample, Travion Williams, my personal favorite, Cody Ford, recently engaged. Congratulations, Cody Ford. So those are the new guys. And then, do I have a list of the guys that we lost? I know we lost Mixon, Reader, and Cheeto, and I cried real tears in Arizona about all of those guys. So, yeah, Kelsey said, I will forever be sad about Reader. Me too, Kels. And I know, Bridget, I know you were real sad about that too.
God, I love him so much. He just he was a great player, right? There's no doubt about that. But we just seem to get these guys who have like brilliant hearts. Like, now I'm going to forget the name. Was Reader's A Son Never Forgets? He was really focused on early grade literacy.
A Son Never Forgets. Mm-hmm.
Like, just these guys are so good. Reader was just like the kindest. Whenever like I had a chance to meet him, and like I would say the most like ridiculous things to him, like, "Hey, I love you so much. Let me like read you a poem about how much I love." Yeah, I definitely read him a poem. And like he just was like, okay, cool.
He was like, that's great.
Like, I'm gonna tolerate this and like let you live your best life. And I love that we get guys like that, because that's what fuels the team. But like, I will proudly still wear my Gravedigger shirt. I both love and hate that he went to the Lions. I love them in the NFC, but like I don't want them to beat us ever.
Yeah, that one was sad. Probably the most heartbreaking for me was Joe Mixon, just because I really loved the way that he interacted with the fans before the games. I loved the way that he would, throw the football with the kids and some of the adults, and almost every game he would like throw really deep, like really, really deep, and then he'd do one of these like keep it, and he would give away a game ball almost every single game to some unsuspecting person, and it was just so cool to see that type of interaction. And that, I feel like that's who Joe Mixon truly is. Despite whatever trouble he had in the past, whatever you've heard about him, whatever people have said about him and accusations, I think that is who Joe Mixon truly is at his heart, is the kind of guy that will play catch with kids, so that was really hard for me. That one hurt a lot. So and then
Tyler Boyd, it just felt like the end of an era. Really, this offseason sucked in that way.
Did he sign anywhere? I was trying to remember.
He hasn't. I've been doing a few inquiries into this because I'm like, is he like just off the Bengals radar? It seems like he may have his value pretty high. So like my sources, John Sharon, say that unless we get an injury or something, it's not likely he'll be back on the Bengals. He'll probably show up on a team, but it's just going to be right sizing his value.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially with how well Yoshi Voss played last year, Greg. I know that's your favorite guy, Yoshi Voss. And with Jermaine Burton now, he can play in the slot. He can line up at a lot of different positions. So I think that, the more depth we get at wide receiver, the harder it's going to be for him to demand a really high price tag, even though it breaks my heart because I love him. He's one of the, he's one of the last guys from the old guard, the old Marvin Lewis era.
Yeah.
He was one of the last guys from that era, which was an era that didn't, it obviously didn't bring us any playoff wins, but that time was so special to me. That was like a really exciting time for me in my Bengals fandom. So I'll always cherish those memories. Greg said, someone said Yoshi Boss. Yeah. So I just, he was so great. And also, side note, at the draft party on Thursday, it was a really fun event. And Marissa Contepelli was playing games with fans. She would have them, she'd bring fans up on this like little stage. And there was a game where they had to wrap Andre Yoshivas with like streamers. And then there was a game where they had to stick Post-it notes to his beautiful face, and literally nothing would stick to his beautiful face.
That's because there's not a single pore. It's like
perfect.
It's just
like nothing would stick.
That man has like, this isn't even about being like hot or handsome, just like beauty.
Yeah.
Like if that man was around in the Roman Empire, there would be statues of Andre Yoshivas. He's just like beautiful.
Yes. It's like, I don't believe he's real. I've seen him up close and I still don't believe that he's real. And then there's all this stuff with T. Higgins. So yeah, we got the franchise tag on him. I think he's definitely gonna be a Bengal this year unless something crazy happens. But I think he's gonna be maybe a Bengal this year, but maybe not for much longer, unfortunately. He's got that agent. He's got that agent that does agent stuff and whatnot. But what do you guys think about the whole agent thing? Because I just feel like, I don't know, it feels kind of ick to me. But I feel like hearing Corey Dillon talk about it, and Corey Dillon talked about it at least, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? He was talking about it on Jeff's show, Sports with Strawberry Ice. He was talking about how these agents, they work for the player, and they're really not doing anything that the player is not, that the player doesn't want. And some guys want money. Some guys want to stay with the team. Some guys, different players value different things. And I don't think any of it's wrong, but I think that some of these agents, they get this like icky, like, I don't know, they're like kind of like making shisty deals and maybe saying things that they shouldn't be. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's hard because it's like I root for the team and I also root for the players. And so I want everyone to make as much money as possible. I want them to make their money because their career is short. Exactly. And they're deserving to make that money because they're not only entertaining us, they're putting their bodies on the line and doing all this. Like, they deserve every bit. Absolutely. But also it's like, I know that the cap exists and there's other players and other resources. So I try to just like tunnel vision and just like, okay, they're doing what they got to do. I don't care. Whoever's on the team this year, I'm going to be rooting for. So I don't know.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's about, for a lot of them, it is about money. And Kayla, I appreciate you share, like their career is really short. And so to be able to kind of build that like generational wealth for their families, wealth for, that can impact 2-3 generations down the road. That's huge. I think in the advent of social media too, like the ick is always just ratcheted up, right? Because the agents have more of a platform, like we'll share it around. And we also know that T's agent is like, this dude's just like the worst. Yeah. We don't like a lot of other agents. Whitney and I had a chance to interview Kelly Masters a year or two ago, who's one of the few female agents. And like, she was like saving people off death row and then became a football agent. Like, wow. I think this, I don't know. I think this guy is just like, he's like a used car salesman.
Yes, that's what is that is exactly it. That's what it reminds me of. And what'd you say? Okay. don't listen to him. Kat said, I hate where the player has a short career. The agent can be that type of person for decades. Yes. And I think that part too, it's like they can literally just, they pick these guys up sometimes in high school, when they're these prospects, and when they're these, recruits, these 5-star recruits out of high school, and then they follow them their entire college career, and then into the pros. And it's like, maybe their values change along the way. And are the agents still receptive to that? I don't know the answer to that. And it's just, it just is, it's that icky sales thing. And it just feels gross to me. And I totally get wanting money. I totally get, supporting your family and setting yourself up. But when you're talking about 20 million versus 22 million, is it really worth moving your entire life and then going to play with a bunch of guys that make you look bad because they can't play either? Like, I mean, I just think about these guys who have left, and then they're like, oh, like, I'm so glad Von Bell's back. I wish that oh my gosh, my favorite ginger, Hayden Hurst. Oh my God, my favorite crop top wearing ginger, Hayden Hurst. I wish he could have had a spot on the team, but I get it. But it's like, I see these guys who leave, and then they're like, it's like, was it worth it? It breaks my heart. But of course I'm biased. I think everyone should love Cincinnati and want to play in Cincinnati. But Juice has the same agent. But you know what I know about Juice is he has got a good mama and he's got a good family, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. So I hope that that will prevail for him. But
we're gonna have to bite the bullet and figure out how to work with that guy eventually, because I feel like he has like half the people in the NFL, unfortunately. So
yeah.
I hope his, like, the way we all remember him though is like, and I don't know, this is maybe a good thing for him, but I just like Deshaun Watson. I'm just like, you got this guy a mad deal, which is sick for you. Like, you're going to get a cut, but I want it to be like the biggest bust performance wise. Right. Like, and that's what I would just prefer to remember him by. So maybe he got a lot of bag, but like, you also sent a sexual predator to Cleveland who like never could win any significant games. So I'll take that,
I guess. But yeah, it's just crazy.
It's how I can lay my head down on the pillow at night, Jess. I got to rationalize it some way.
Hey, you know what? Whatever helps you out. But okay, well, I have a few conspiracy theories that I need to discuss. So let's all get our tinfoil and do some conspiracy theories.
My tinfoil's missing.
Oh, your shirt is really shiny. So
okay, that'll be it. I had it here.
Oh no, not the missing tinfoil.
Now that's a conspiracy in and of itself.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me pull up Twitter and see, because I did tweet about this, but obviously the big one is the mutant who might be an alien. Joe Burrow might be an alien. So Jermaine Burton might be an alien. Joe Burrow might be an alien. There might be a lot of aliens on this team. So that's one for sure.
Orlando Brown's going to have to do like a resurvey of who on the team is most likely to be an alien. Also, Kayla, maybe you know about this or the rationale or have seen it. I was in Covington. Maybe was it Covington recently? And there was a giant alien, with a magnifying glass. Yep. And I was like, could we put Joe Burrow and Jermaine Pratt just under this for a photo op, please? So that's my plea to the Bengals for this season, is to please give us some good alien social content by whatever that is.
Yes, I'm here for that for sure. Also, Joe Burrow tweeted, and Joe Burrow is a man of few tweets. He tweeted 18 games, 2 bye weeks. Was he telling the future? Was he making a statement? Was he asking a question? These are the thoughts that I've had about that, because I like it. I like 2 bye weeks.
Yeah,
personally.
absolutely.
But I don't know. I think
My take is he was responding because Goodell doesn't like the preseason. Goodell wants there to be 18 games. The way I read that was like 18 games, give us 2 bye weeks. So that is the Burrow in my head.
I am Roger Goodell because I also do not like preseason games. I think that it's tough, but I think, I think Cap tweeted something about this, and Bridget, you said you wanted to talk about the whole playing starters in preseason thing. Maybe we'll see some starters playing preseason this year. Maybe the preseason will be shorter. Maybe with a shorter preseason, they would be more willing to play some of their starters. Maybe, I don't know. But I like the preseason because I like, the opportunity to get to go to games and there's a lot of kids there. It's an opportunity for people to see real NFL football who might not get a chance to. And it's, there's obviously no stakes. It's very much just for fun. And, the weather's usually nice or warm. But so I don't hate preseason, but I hate the fact that every year players are getting injured in preseason, or we're keeping our players completely out of preseason. And then it sort of feels like maybe the offensive line didn't gel as quickly as they maybe could have had they had those in-game reps. Maybe, I don't know. And I don't know the answer. I don't know the right answer. I feel like I just got to trust what these coaches are doing because they seem to think that they don't need to play these guys in preseason. So I have a hard time. I have a hard time kind of taking a firm stance on that whole thing.
I like playing a couple snaps. So this is when I saw Cap's tweet. I was like, I agree. Like, I don't think you play them a whole quarter. You certainly wouldn't play them any more than that. But like, game action is just different than camp. Like, your own guys aren't hitting you in the same way, except maybe Orlando Brown and Trey Hendrickson on that last camp. But like, your own guys aren't hitting you in the same way an opponent's going to hit you. And I feel like you just need those like in-game snaps to see how you all are going to gel. And like, I feel like that's football, baby. Like, you might get but like, I think it's like a handful of snaps, maybe a couple series at most, but I think they need that in-game action to be able to kind of figure out how they're going to gel. I think that's my non-expert opinion is how you don't start 0-2.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's like every team kind of takes a different approach to preseason. Some teams play their starters, some teams and some teams play their starters and they don't get hurt. So then it ends up working to their benefit. Some teams play their starters and then they get hurt. And then it's like, well, shoot, maybe we shouldn't have done that. So it's like, but if there are fewer preseason games, I think maybe it would kind of even out the playing field for everybody. Cause it's like, okay, well, there's only going to be 2. So you're either going to play 2 games, or you're not going to play 2 games. Is it really going to make a huge difference one way or the other? And I'm not sold either way on that. I don't know for sure, but
I will say I advocate for keeping Burrow out of preseason games.
I know, me too. He's fine. He does a great job. He doesn't.
Yeah. Protect that man, please.
Also, now that I have my tinfoil hat on, I'm just going to say that if one freaking person says something to Joe Burrow about having a normal offseason, I am going to lose it. I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
Because they 100% jinxed him last year. And when I heard it, I knew it was a jinx. And then like a day later, it turned out to be true. So everyone just keep your mouth shut about Joe Burrow's normal offseason, because oh my gosh.
I have a little conspiracy theory.
Good.
I don't know if it's necessarily a conspiracy theory, but I think that we can figure out. So before we were always drafting LSU and Clemson Tigers, like it was just all Tiger drafts. And Mims is roughly the same weight and speed of a Bengal Tiger. We've got all these freaky athletes. Are we drafting Tigers, like literal?
Actual Tigers.
Like, just floating it out. Is that maybe the new strategy in the front office?
I love this. Thane Maynard pulled the sword. That's the director of the Cincinnati Zoo. He pulled the sword at an FC Cincinnati game a couple of weeks ago, which might lead us to believe he is now becoming integrated into Cincinnati sports. And I could totally see him like give it, okay, this is what a Tiger is going to be like. Here's what you want to look for.
Oh, yeah.
This is tracking. This is tracking.
Like how to draft an actual tiger. Like
we got to get more tiger-like. We're going to do it one way or another.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love that. I love that theory. Also, you know, it's funny because like I don't really care where these guys go to school. Obviously, I'm not super into college football. I'm not super into these draft prospects. But I fully appreciate all the people who put in all the work to scout these guys and fall in love with them and then get their hearts broken when they go someplace else. But I do kind of feel like lately the Bengals have been getting a lot of Michigan Wolverines, and it's kind of irritating my Ohio State graduate side of my personality. But I love them all and I forgive them for that. But
as a native Michigander whose team is Michigan State, that also irritates me.
I'm just like, oh, okay, we got another Michigan guy. I mean, they did win the freaking national championship also, to my chagrin, but you know, whatever. But yeah, I think that's interesting. So I don't know. But yeah, I just, it's so hard for me to get into these draft prospects because I am such a all or nothing person that if I learn too much about these guys, I'm going to be so excited about them. And then if the Bengals don't pick them, I'm going to be like devastated. And it's like, there's just no middle ground for me. So it's like I am just not wired for learning about all of these guys that are going to go play someplace else, because I feel like, especially on day 2, all the guys that people were talking about wanting, they were all just like getting snapped up like right before our eyes. And it was just so sad. So I'm just like, oh, I don't think I could ever really put a lot of energy into that. But, like I said, thank you so much to everybody who does that work, because I fully appreciate it. But
that you reminded me, and I'm ashamed of myself that I didn't say this earlier when we talked about guys who aren't coming back. Stanley Morgan. We need a second.
How did I forget about Stanley Morgan?
How did I forget about Stanley Morgan? So just like a moment of silence.
I know. I told Cap if I had more time, I was going to do like a black and white montage of all the guys that have left. Like
the Boys to Men. So hard.
And I would be like, it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Not the real Boys to Men, because then we'd get in trouble on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, Stanley Morgan. It is so hard to say goodbye. But like you said, Kayla, it's like the Bengals are number 1, and guys are gonna come and go, but it doesn't make it less sad for me because I love these guys. I do. I love them so much, and I want the very best thing for them. But I want that very best thing to be in
I know, to be here. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So it's tough. It really is tough, but I wish them nothing but the best. I really hope that I'm glad we don't play the Texans in regular season this year, but hey, we will most likely see them in the playoffs if they have a good year like they did last year, and they've seemed to be doing some things. So that's it's going to be a team to watch for sure. But
it was a scary situation with Tank Dell yesterday.
Wait, what happened? I missed it.
He was in a mass shooting. He was completely uninvolved. He got hit. They think he's going to make a full recovery. He was already let out of the hospital. But I know there are opponents, but CJ Stroud and Tank Dell were fun to watch this season. And when Dell got hurt, that just sucked for the Texans. But this is, tremendously scary. So we got to wish him the best. But it sounds like it's going to be, he'll be able to make a full recovery.
Man, that's crazy. That I didn't hear about that. I've been at work for the past 3 days, so I did not hear about that, but that's crazy. Chris Bob is here. What's up, Chris? He says CJ Stroud to Cade Stover will be a nice connection for them. Yeah. Okay, so then I put out a tweet on Twitter asking everybody what their draft grades were, and Christian, I don't believe is in the chat today, but he did leave a comment, so I'm going to read what Christian wrote to us. He said, "A solid B plus. O-line picks are good and seemingly for the future. Skill positions are super talented, have chances to contribute. DTs look to be solid role players at worst, good starters at best. Defense picks outside of the DTs, good on paper. Jury's out on tape though." And then he got a response from the KB. And he said, "Don't forget the undrafted free agent punter. Michigan had Jenkins moving around a lot this past season. His film from the year before where he stayed at defensive tackle is a lot better. Jackson is really hard to figure out. Per PFF, he only played 9 games at nose tackle. Need to see more films. Solid B plus as well." So thanks for that comment, Christian. Appreciate you. And then Heroic Teddy, who's actually in our chat tonight, he says B plus at least. While I know there's a lot of ifs regarding our picks, I honestly can't wait to see them on the field. One thing that impressed me with this season's draft is the attitude of the players. It's hard not to like them. I think they'll crush it. Yes. And I've loved seeing I haven't seen all the content. I haven't had time to get through everything, all the press conferences and whatnot. But what I've seen, I think these guys have great personalities. I think they're really well suited for this team. And I can't wait to see their little tiny microphone interviews with Orlando Brown Jr. And then I think that was our comment. So thanks so much for that, guys, on Twitter. Do we have any more conspiracies? Are we safe to take off the tinfoil? I don't know. Let us know if you guys have any conspiracy theories. But yeah, honestly, overall, I'm really excited for this season. I think it's going to be a good season, especially, gosh, I know I say this every single year, but if we could just stay healthy, it would be amazing. I think the sky's the limit for this team. And I really feel like, oh shoot, I forgot to say this. If the script writers are listening to me right now, there is no better script than the Bayou Bengals winning the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Okay. A place where Joe Burrow has never lost would be a great place for him to win the first ever Bengals Super Bowl. And for once, I would like the script to work in my favor. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
I just want to vomit thinking about that. Like I get so hyped up. I can't even, like I will sometimes find myself daydreaming about just that thing during the day. What it could be like. I don't want to think about it too hard. I remember Ted reminded us all last year like midsummer, like stop with the like postseason time, because we were all crazy, right? We're all like, so like I'm trying to temper, but also could you imagine Bourbon Street if we won? I can't.
I mean, we were completely inseparable winning that regular season game in the middle of October. Like I can't even imagine winning the Super Bowl there. I mean, it's just going to be absolute pandemonium. But Rebecca said, "Do you think we're going to Germany?" A good question, Rebecca. That is my next big hurdle is waiting for this schedule to be released. That is always a big thing. Yeah.
Right? They got to do something about this. Like my Q3 and 4 of my life are like unscheduled because I'm like, where do I have to be? What weekends do I have to be home? Like, I can't handle this.
Yeah, it's so tough. And, I make my schedule at work go, I have time now, but it's like that window closes so fast. And it's like, I got to figure out what's going on with everything. And it's got to plan trips and got to figure out where we're going. And yeah, if we're going to freaking Germany, my passport expires this year. Like I need to know these things. So Rebecca, God, Germany would be such a fun trip. I really hope we get to go there soon. I think if not this year, I think probably next year, I think we'll be the home team. I think when they send us to Germany, I think we'll be the home team just because of the whole German connection. But all right, thanks, Cap. May 9th, schedule should drop. So not too much longer, but yeah, gosh, it's so hard. So hard waiting for that, especially with the international games, because that takes a lot of planning.
Right.
But I'm really excited because fans of Cincy said, we're going to the Carolina game, whether it's in Carolina or Germany, we are doing a trip. And so I'm really excited about that because they do a fantastic job. So that's going to be exciting.
So the Germany game is in Munich, right?
I don't remember. Didn't they have 2 last year? 2 different places? I can't remember.
They need to do it during Oktoberfest.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, this is like the Cincy culmination, because isn't like Cincinnati's Oktoberfest the second biggest in the world outside of Germany? So like, come on,
I think
Something like that.
make the two meld.
Exactly. And the whole Cincinnati thing, I mean, it's just it's meant to be. It's meant to be. It's perfect. So it needs to happen soon. Maybe this year, maybe not. We'll see. If they go, I'm going. I don't care what it takes.
I feel like I might be right there with you. Even if it's like 3 days in Europe, like a total whirlwind, I think I might have to do it.
Could you do that? Could you take off? Could you take off if you knew this far in advance? Could you take off like a whole week, or would you have to like still plan it around whatever's going on with your job?
If I had stuff, my fall's already the Monday through Friday is not looking great. So it would probably be like a Friday night flight. Wake up Saturday morning, do a game, fly home Monday. But that's the way it is.
That's crazy. Matt's here. Hello, gang. Hello. How's it going? Thanks for dropping in. We're just talking about the draft, talking about our free agency, and I think we're about ready to wrap it up. But thanks for joining us. So, Bridget, where did you get your shirt from? Because I need one.
I got it. Oh, damn. I got it from Poshmark, but it's a lady's name. I can, it was just, she was reselling it, and I got it for like $35. It's like full sequin. It's so nice. I'll send out the name of the brand. It's not, like, I want to say it's like Shannon Baker, but I don't think right. It's something like that.
Like just a name.
Interesting. Just somebody's name. Okay. That's so funny. I love it. It's beautiful. Yeah. I had a Poshmark jacket that I was really excited about. And then the last minute, she was like, "Oh, I don't have it. How about a yellow one?" And I was like,
"Cardinals.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not." She's like, it's just as nice. I was like, it is not. It was like a tiger striped like leather jacket. It was like a leather jacket with like tiger stripe like fur accents like on the collar and stuff. And she had the audacity to ask me if I wanted a yellow leather jacket instead.
No, never.
It's a no. Never. It was a no for me. Yes, Rebecca, yellow. And I was really upset about it. And Jerry was the only one who could grieve that with me.
Well, I blame Jerry for that, because like Jerry will send me stuff on Poshmark, and I'm like, I don't think you have to have an account or something. I'm like, I don't have that. And then I was like randomly Googling sequin tiger shirts last week, and this came up, and this is like my new favorite. And I was like, $35. So now I might be a Poshmark. I can't say that with my speech impediment, but I might be an addict now.
Poshmark is great. And honestly, Bridget, for as much stuff as you have, you could probably sell a lot of stuff on Poshmark.
Yeah, maybe also become a retailer.
Yes. Because I haven't sold nearly as much as stuff as I need to sell on Poshmark, but I have sold a few things on Poshmark, and it does lessen the blow a little bit, because what they do is they just put that money in your little Poshmark account, and then when you go to buy stuff, it's like it's girl math, it's not real money. So.
I like it. I like that.
But yes, I'm glad that I'm not the only one that Jerry sends stuff to constantly, because literally yesterday, she sent me this thing. She's like, you need this. And she was right. I did need it.
Was it the long tiger striped dress?
No,
that's the one I got from Jerry yesterday. Jerry, we're out here.
I think she diversifies like what she sends to us. Like
she's like a personal shopper.
She's our personal shopper. Like she'll pick out a tiger dress for Bridget. She picked out this orange jumpsuit, and I know that sounds like prison, but no, it's not. It's not prison. Not prison vibes at all. It's very cute, even though it is orange and it is a jumpsuit. But she sent me this orange jumpsuit from this website I had literally never even heard of, and I'm like, where do you even find this stuff? Like, honestly, I wish you were here right now. I would ask her about this.
We miss you.
She literally is like the best shopper, and also the worst influence on my shopping habits. But we acknowledge that we are both terrible for each other, and then we just continue to do it. So, anywho, I've got my Hammond shirt on. I was feeling blitzy today. I got my NFL Blitz Joe Burrow shirt on today because Shout out to Homage. Speaking of Homage, did you guys see those little windbreaker things that they just
rolled
out?
So cute.
They are so cute. I love the whole 90s geometric vibes. Like, I thought those were so cute. I think, do you still have that as your pin tweet, Cap?
I do not, but they might be out now.
Are they sold out?
Yeah, they went quick.
Shoot.
People were like ponying up then for those because those weren't cheap either.
Yeah.
That's great. I can't believe those sold out so fast. That was like the beginning of the weekend that those dropped, I feel like. Dang, that's crazy. Well, never mind. You know what, though? You know, the good thing about Homage, though, is that their stuff comes back. Like, their stuff will come back in stock, I feel like, sometimes. You know, if not this year, definitely next year. But I feel like they're smart about that because then they're like, remember when that went out of stock and you couldn't get it? Well, it's back now, but you better get it now.
Yep.
It might go to stock again.
Yep,
officially sold out. That's crazy. Wow.
Well, good for them.
Never mind about that. Sorry.
It was
to everyone who didn't
for the record.
I also got a really cute little jacket. I was wearing this little cute tiger jacket on Friday, and I got it from Lux and Lemons. No, not Lux and Lemons. That is a meal prep company I used to use. It's called Lemons and Limes Boutique. Sorry, my brain is mashed potatoes today. Lemons and Limes Boutique, and they're on Instagram at shop Lemons and Limes or something like that. But anyway, they were at a Cincy Hat event. They were at St. Patty's Day, where I get my. Well, I didn't get this there, but a lot of other people did. I cannot. Oh my God. Don't even mind me. There's my Cincy tattoo. Anyway, at St. Patty's Day, they had this Lux Lemons boutique set up, and they had the cutest little tiger print stuff. So I got a really cute little tiger jacket that I was wearing on Friday.
I still owe you your Cincy hat from
I need my ponytail hat.
That was designed by the woman who owns Lemons and Limes.
Yeah. And they're really sweet. I got to talk to that lady at the St. Patty's Day event. And yeah, she was really awesome. And I loved getting to meet her. I'm just always really impressed by people that have these little cute shops. Rebecca says they have a few locations. I think the one in Loveland is right across from Cincy Shirts. Yes. And we love us some Cincy Shirts. That's great. Just knock out all the trips and just spend all of your money. Lemons and Limes and Cincy Shirts. But all right. I think that's all I got. Anybody else got anything in the chat? Anything, ladies?
I'm trying to think about what's next. When does the rookie mini camp start? Or I
have no idea.
I feel like we're kind of all in a little waiting game until then. We just got to keep picking up the crumbs that the social team gives us.
Yep. And I know today, I haven't got a chance to look at it today, but I know they posted some Skyline content, some guys consuming some Skyline. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I can't wait for the schedule to be released. I can't wait for mini camp to start. And then training camp is one of my favorite times of the year. Yeah. So lots of fun stuff. This is my favorite, basically late summer preseason into, training camp into preseason is my favorite time as a Bengals fan, because it's just, the world is our oyster. The opportunities are endless, and anything could happen, and it's all right in front of us, and it just feels so optimistic and fresh, and I love that time of year. So I'm really the 13th of what? May 13th, the rookie.
That's coming.
The Wookiees will report. But
it'll be fun. Next Thursday, we'll get the schedule release, maybe 8:00 on the 9th. And so I feel like everyone can start just figuring out all the fun things that are going to happen. There's going to be some good trips this year.
Okay.
I still don't see a date yet.
Rebecca says, according to the NFL operations page, the 2024 NFL rookie minicamp dates are between May 3rd to 6th or May 10th to 13th. All NFL teams can choose either dates. Thank you, Rebecca, for that. And then Pork Chop says, I got something. Hooday. Well, hooday, Pork Chop. Thanks for tuning in and joining us. But yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll be around. We'll do some shows kind of sporadically throughout the summer as things happen. So we will announce it. Make sure you're following us on Twitter and subscribing on YouTube. It's free, you might as well. And we very much appreciate it. And we'll do some fun giveaways this year as well. So stay tuned for all that. And I think that's it. Hoo day, everybody.
Hoo day.
Hoo day.